What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. All right, welcome out everyone, all of you great decoders around the world, wherever you may be, both male and female. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality, and today we're going to be breaking down and decoding some sacred geometry. This will be truncated Icosahedron decoded. Of course, it wouldn't be complete without adding in the football, the soccer ball, which is why I put it there as the intro. The most popular sport in the world, right here. I've done the research on it. The majority of them say that, if not all, football, soccer is the most popular sport in the entire world. So this kind of is a big deal for sports, right? And why I decided to decode this, and the soccer ball, of course, is a truncated icosahedron. Right here, this is what it looks like through sacred geometry. Why this is so special? Why this is so special? Well, it incorporates the number 56. It has the pentagon on it, which is where you're going to get the pentagram, and then it has the hexagon on there. And this is the 56, 5-sided, 6-sided. So if you haven't seen my 56 decoded, please check it out, because you're going to find nuggets in this decode that you will have found in this one right here. But this decode is going to be a little bit advanced. You can follow along. You don't have to be an advanced decoder to follow along with this one. But what I decided to do with this one is to create some new numerology ciphers using the truncated icosahedron. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step in case you want to mess around with these ciphers. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to show you, it's groundbreaking for me. Maybe a lot of you have been fooling around making your own ciphers, etc., etc. But I'm going to be exclusively using this website right here called gematro.com. And this is where you can create your own cipher. You just, you put in the alphabet, and then you can put in your numbers here. And so what I decided to do for this truncated icosahedron is create two ciphers that wrap around, or at least link to, the 5 and the 6. This is the pentagon. This is the hexagon. These are the two ciphers that I've created. And how I did that, I'm going to show you and break this all stuff down. There's no topics and stuff like that, but let's kind of get into the presentation. I'm going to hop back into showing you how to create these ciphers. So why the truncated icosahedron is so very special? Because it is the only one of its kind that does not have, I shouldn't say it's not the only one, but it doesn't contain any triangles or squares. And this is the buckyball. And we're going to get into nanotechnology. This has everything to do with that, and perhaps where we're going as a species, as a society, using this shape and this model. It has 12 pentagons and 20 hexagons. This is what we're dealing with right here. And this is a very special shape in our reality. So first things first, before I show you these ciphers, I wanted to show you the Chaldean numerology outcome for these two shapes. And again, this says Chiro numerology because it's Chaldean, but when you go to the Gematro and you click on the ciphers to get to Chaldean, you come down to the other here, and here it is. You got to click it off, Chiro numerology. This is what they call it, but it's still going to be Chaldean numerology. There it is right there, pentagon and hexagon, okay? And this is what we're dealing with. So we get the same outcome right here, 69. And how very fitting, because, you know, what is the colors of this typical soccer ball or football? It's black and white, which is a representation of the yin-yang. So we start that off really with colors and sacred geometry and numerology. And then how about this right here? This is a big time position on the world stage for this organization, the Pentagon. And I want you to notice, this is why I really am a huge fan of Chaldean numerology, because the latitude of the Pentagon, which is in a pentagonal shape, 38 degrees north. I mean, look at what the outcome is for Pentagon. So again, to me, you know, Chaldean kind of reigns supreme. Doesn't mean it's going to have seniority over anything, but you can see with all these decodes that have been coming out with a lot of you great decoders, these are undeniable, these direct outcomes, and then they connect to the cards and alchemy. It's a very special cipher. But there it is, 38. And then the hexagon gets to 31. So I just wanted to show that because this is a big shape. This is, you know, the largest military in the world, and it's in the shape. Why did they choose it? Why did they choose the Pentagon for the shape? Think about that. Why? Why this shape right here? And if you go in here, it's denoted as black. It's denoted as black. It's man. The 5-pointed pentagram is in there. So it's going to be embedded in here as well. So there's so many outlooks to observe through this shape right here and just this location. So here we get into the numerology ciphers and how I created these and why I did that. And I'm going to, folks, if you're willing to pay attention and you're willing to take a look at this decode, it's not going to be that long, I don't think, but you're going to have a lot of bells go off. And you're going to see, and I'm going to show you how somebody in this presentation was being used. I'm going to show it again, supporting it, just using this special cipher, these ciphers I've created. So what we have right here is, we're going to start with the pentagon, the 5-star polygonal shape. And what I did was, here are the 26 pentagonal numbers. Of course, matching the 26 letters of the alphabet. So I'm going to show you that. Here they are. So this is what I did right here. I took the first 26 to match the 26 letters of the alphabet. And then, you know, because these numbers are so big, I decided to reduce them down into single digits. So this is what we got right here. This is what we're dealing with. 26 letters of the alphabet for the pentagonal cipher. We have these single digit numbers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the mighty hexagon. Tied to the bees, tied to the honeycomb. So there are the hexagonal numbers, okay? And all you gotta do is just look this stuff up and reduce them down. That's what I did. So here's the reduction down for the hexagonal shape, the hexagonal cipher. So we're dealing with this one, and we're dealing with this one. And we put them together, the 5 and the 6. And you know how important the 56 is through the decode that I showed. So here is the breakdown of the single words that represent each of these polygonal shapes, the pentagon and the hexagon. And I'm going to leave some things for you great decoders to explore. I'm not going to give it all away, but I just wanted to give some things, drop some things that you can take a look at, go a little bit deeper. Obviously, we can fit alchemy into this. We can fit the cards of illumination, the tarot, etc., etc. But notice pentagon is 50. In God we trust equals 50. The Pentagons in Washington, D.C., which they're all about in God we trust. It's right on the back of the dollar bill. Swear their hand on the Bible before the president gets indoctrinated into that position. And then the hexagon is that 30. And, you know, remember, Demiurge is 30, Jehovah's 30, Santa Claus is 30. So this is a big time connection here with this 30 and this 50. And of course, they total the number 80, which is going to be linked to Mercury. But moving a little bit forward, what I decided to do is take this numerology, and this is how crazy this source code is, folks. How mathematically precise this source code is. So the pentagon, there's 12 of them. Here it is, okay? It's got 20 pentagons in this truncated icosahedron. So we go 12 times 50, and we get 600, and then we're going to do the same thing with the hexagon. There's 20 of those on this buckyball, on this truncated icosahedron, and 20 times 30 gives us the same exact outcome, 600. How about that? 600 on both ends using, so now we've combined numerology, and we combine it with mathematics, and look at what we get, two 600s. Two 600s. And if we add that up, simple math, you get the 1200. So where do we go from here? Well, I decided to look at the sine and cosine wave. How special the sine and cosine wave. We fit another layer of mathematics into this to show more of the source code playing out. And here it is. Sine and cosine wave of 1200. Linking up to the pentagon and the hexagon through mathematics and the numerology of these ciphers. We get that mighty 144. And 144, we bring alchemy into that. And again, I'm leaving some clues, some breadcrumbs for all you great decoders to jump down and take a look at, see if you can find some stuff. But it's tied to neodymium, how special this element is. Feed the wolf is 60. Neodymium is they use it to make magnets. It's magnetic, the 144,000. There's so many links to this. So if you start to take what I just gave you as examples and place it into this buckyball, into this truncated icosahedron, and you get into the military and et cetera, you're going to start to find some clues of how special this shape really is. But going a little bit further, now we get into some nanotechnology. We're going to get to some science fiction, all right, and how important this shape is, because here it is, the buckyball, okay, the Buckminster fullerene. It's carbon 60. And so this is why I got carbon here, and it's, the 60 obviously is tied to the 5 and the 6 right here. Right? It's got 60 vertices. There's a lot of reasons why this is so special, this shape right here. But what the big takeaway is this right there. It's research that's linked to nanotechnology. All right? And then I'll just let your mind wander on what you think that could be linked to. I'm not going to give the farm away here. All right, because I got a little bit more to show you here. And again, I want to keep this really short because this is kind of new for some of you creating a numerology cipher. But let's get into the next piece of this decode, the last piece of it. It's going to be a short one, right? So I decided to take one of the biggest nouns, subjects, titles on the world stage that so many people, and maybe even you, use on the daily. Praying to this title, giving thanks to this title, talking to this title, the God, God. What do you think that is? And what could it be? Well, if we link it to the 5 and the 6, if we link it to these two shapes, what kind of outcome can we get for this a little bit deeper? Using these two new ciphers that I've created. Maybe some of you have already created these, but I would highly encourage you to mess around with them and play around with them, because I'm telling you, this stuff right here, especially when you're playing tribute to the 5 and the 6, the hexagon and the pentagon. And so the 17 and the 5 is what we get for the outcome for these two. And we add them up, we get that number 22. 22 is going to link to the Fool. 22 is going to link to the letter V. It's going to link to so many things. Titanium. And we could just go off in Never Land with all this kind of stuff. But let's keep going. What I decided to do is link it to the soccer ball, of course, because we have to. The soccer ball is the 5 and the 6. Where does this fit into the whole scenario of everything? And why I brought the soccer ball into it? Well, it leads me to this guy right here, Ijel Nielsen. Okay, Ijel Nielsen was the creator of the soccer ball that's used today. He created this soccer ball. He was credited for creating this design, which is a 32 panel, the 12 and the 20, the 12 hexagons and the 12 pentagons in 1962. And then they put it into play in the World Cup, et cetera, et cetera. Right here, this guy was. And, I'm going to leave these links in the description of this right here. But, like some people want some support. Like, was this guy real? Is he fake? Well, you go ahead and play this. This is right off of, this is also a company that he founded called Select Sport. And they say he's the inventor of the modern football. He's passed on now, but you can watch this video. It looks real legit to me. And he talks about going to high school and playing in school. And I mean, it doesn't sound like he's trying to pull a woolly over anybody's eyes or try to screw you over or mock you or anything like that. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, was this guy's life his own? Or did he incarnate to be not only the founder of the largest sports ball company in the world for soccer balls, I think they're the largest, but to actually invent the modern football that we use today, which is the most popular sport in the world. This is a big deal, right? This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So I'm going to leave this. You can watch this. It's kind of an interesting story right here with this dude, Igel Nielsen, right? And there's the little soccer balls on his ties, et cetera, et cetera. But his birthday is very, very interesting. I'm going to get into that, okay? But here's the ball. If you go and link it up, here's the ball that he created and when it got introduced, 1968 European Football Championship, 1970 FIFA World Cup. There it was, the Adidas Telstar. You could decode this stuff till the cows come home. There's so many nuggets in this. But I wanted to keep this short so you great decoders can jump in and take a look and see what you find. But here is kind of this is where I know that we're being used as a species. This right here is absolute proof for me. And I'm going to use the word proof very lightly. I'm going to more say this is my absolute support for what I'm about to show you and what I say that mankind's being used. Notice that his birthday, he was born on the 15th of September and he passed on the 7th of September. That's the 157. What do you see right there, folks? What do you see right there? It's a dead giveaway. You think that maybe the creator came down and became this guy, or maybe controlled him remotely to make the soccer ball, to create it, to be the inventor of the modern soccer ball that we use today, the modern football? And then this 175, it's right inside gadolinium, the 64th element, which is the GD element, the GOD element. You're live in front of the whole world. You're on television, this element. It's all about television screens and being in the movie. Well, there it is. It's a permutation. This guy has the 157 right there, right on this. Right on this. And the permutation's right there. Now, but wait, there's more. So as you can see, the 88 and the 69 right here is the outcome for the words pentagon and hexagon. And how I found that, going back over to the cipher right here, we're just going to plug it right in, and there it is. So it's taking the pentagon and hexagon, putting it into these two ciphers. We get the 88 and 69. And what happens when you add this up right here? Get out your calculator, simple math. 88 plus 69, you know what you're going to get? 157. Bam! So just like that, we now have another link to this 64th element, which is tied to the permutation of the GOD. It's right in his birthday, the 15 and the 7th, it's right there. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll pose the question again. Do you think this guy's life was his own? A simple inventor of a football. This guy. And his birthday matches the 64th element. 64 squares in a chessboard, I know, and they're black and white. But this, to me, is completely undeniable here. Absolutely undeniable. How about this right here? When you say the word soccer, in America, we call it soccer. Well, 30 and 34, what do you get? 64. And right just like that, we go right back to gadolinium. Again, the GD element. And, you know, the GD element, the GOD, I mean, you can't miss it, folks. It's a permutation. And this, you mean to tell me this guy's birth right here is a match to that? I mean, do you think that people are trying to mock you and screw you over with putting these numbers out there like this? The guy invented the football. He's got a select sports company. You know, why would they lie about his birthday? No, folks, this is the source code. This is mankind being used. We're living inside of a simulation. We're living inside of an experiment. We're living inside of a movie. That's how all these outcomes can be like this. Creating a cipher based on the polygonal shapes of the hexagon and the pentagon, which is incorporated into this shape that this guy created. Come on. So let's go a little bit further right here. How about this Americanized word for soccer, football? The original word for soccer in America is football in Europe, and there's the 35 and 34, and that's why I got the yin yang there. You add that up, you get the 69. 69. Again, and then, you go back over to the Chaldean, and there's the 69, pentagon and hexagon. It's really interesting, right? It's really, really interesting. And then I decided to take the colors on the ball that they chose, 17 and 36, black and white. And when you add up 17 and 36, you're going to get 53. And how big time is this element? What is iodine? I am that I am. It's the I. It's the I. So you go a little bit further. How about that letter I? Well, it's a direct match to the number 9 in both of the ciphers. How about that, right? The number 9. And then if you say the number 9 in both these ciphers, you get another yin yang. You get the 69. 33 plus 36 is 69. So we have a lot of 69s going on here. Got it right here. Matching the pentagon and hexagon. You got it right here with the 9, which is incorporated with the I, and the I is found from the black and white, which is the colors that were chosen for this ball. Made by this gentleman, invented by this gentleman, who has a birthday that matches the God. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'll pose that question. You think this guy's life was his own? And with all the things that I've shown you about this dude right here, do you think his life was his own? All right, really, really quick, short and sweet one right there, ladies and gentlemen. Would love to hear what you saw during this presentation. Keep your comments coming. Just keep them cordial. Again, no toxicity, right? I know this is somewhat rather new with these ciphers. I did the best I could to describe them for all of you. And if you wanted to start using them, all you got to do is break down the numbers and break them down to single digits and incorporate them into the cipher like I showed. This Gematro website is, pretty amazing. All you got to do, just really quickly, if you click on this features button, you come down and you click on edit ciphers. You got to hit it twice. And once you do that, you can now create your own cipher. So your name, and then you have your A, B, C, and you start plugging in your numbers, and then you can change the outcomes right here and put in any number you want to match, whatever it is you want to match. And folks, I've done it with pi. I'm doing it with phi. The outcomes are unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got more to show you on this, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, would love to hear what you saw. Keep your comments coming. That's all I got for today, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Logan. Until next time, we will see you later.